Hello everyone, my name is Qing Cao. I come from the company Inkraft Intelligence. In this video, I'm going to introduce you the software we developed, the Inkraft Terminal. So what does this software do? Basically, it helps our client, the industrial company, to achieve the digitalization of the product R&D process. So they can accelerate their workflow, they can improve the design quality, and they can reduce the costs. So why we make this software? The story is several years ago, I went to the automotive parts supplier in Germany, so which develops and produces the lighting components like a headlamp, like a rear lamp for the automotive industry, for the cars. And I was in R&D, and what I saw is that the R&D cost is very high compared the profile at the end they got. And this is a typical German company which produce the high-level things and face very strong competition from Asia and East Europe. And people keep talking about, is there any potential we can do? Can we make this system, the R&D system, more efficient? Can we reduce the cost? To answer these questions, I want first to talk about what happened in R&D. So what's the problem in R&D? So here we go. Assume I am a team leader of R&D department, like thermal management, and here's me, and here are my team members, the Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, D, and E. And one day we got a R&D task. We have to create some thermal management concept for the project X. And you see, here is the information flow, and I got this information. Then I send this task to my boys. Mr. A make the specification, Mr. B make the concept, Mr. C make the prototype, and Mr. D make the validation to validate the step B, and then the Mr. E make this release. So this is the well-known V model. Many teams use this model, but some teams maybe they use the waterfall models, whatever. There's some workflow. So you see, the information have two states: the transferring, this arrow, the transferring, and the operating. So the information is always transferring, operating, transferring, operating, transferring, operating, transferring, operating, transferring, operating, and finish. So it looks very fine, and it looks the information just flowed here and job finished. Everything looks fine. But to remember, the devil is hidden in the details. In real life, in every transferring and operating state, there are many barriers to slow down the information flow and bring a very high cost. So in transferring, in practice, the R&D gives not only one concept, but multiple concepts. So each step here in the workflow must get the exact input data from the version he's working with. In the real life, you will see that the people organize many meetings, make many phone calls, write so many emails, and so on. And we waste so much time just for transferring the right data from right people to right people in the right time. So my feeling is this communication problem brings around 30% of the total cost. For example, in the operating part, the people do two things in the operating: making engineering decision and making engineering calculation. The barrier in the decision part is the people spend too much time to search for knowledge. For example, Mr. B, he wants to get knowledge of design rules, of material properties, to help him to make the right decision. And currently, this knowledge management part is handled by every engineer alone. And the knowledge is everywhere. It takes too long time to get them. And in real life, you will see some people can use the knowledge very fast, get knowledge very fast, but some people just not, because it depends on their own quality. And therefore, some steps just give the bad design, and some steps give the good design, and the bad design will make the whole design failed, and just because the guy cannot get the good knowledge. My feeling is that knowledge getting problem brings another 30% of the total costs. And another part is the engineering calculation. So in R&D project, the people have to do many calculations like analyze of heat transfer, of force, of electronics, of lighting distribution, and so on. And people calculate those things, sometimes use hand, sometimes using Excel, sometimes using some small script they made themselves. For more complex engineering logic, the people use the commercial software like Abacus, Ansys, CATIA, and so on, but it takes much time to operate this software. In total, I think this calculation part takes also much time. It brings around 40% of the total costs. So, as I said, here are the problems in R&D: the communications problems, and the knowledge getting problems, and the calculations problem. In the past, the German companies are doing not so bad job against those three problems, because the German is a country who has a very strong engineering culture. So like high level education, systematic training, responsibility, much experience, and so on. So they can handle that in the past. But in recent years, these three problems are becoming more and more serious in R&D. It's not people's fault. It's because the information explosion. Today, the customers' needs change very quickly, and every day comes a new technology and new ideas the people have to learn, and the library is bigger and bigger, and the engineering software is getting complexer, and the schedule is getting more and more busy. So this is an information explosion, and the new generation just cannot handle that. So we think with this information explosion, you cannot just hold the door with your engineering culture. You need some tools to help you out. So then we start thinking, what kind of tools we need? If the problems are hiding in the transferring and operating, can we have some general digital workspace which has the modulars to solve the problems in the transferring and in the operating? Then we can solve the problem. So when there are some R&D project, we just need to take several this general workspace and connect them each other together, and the information will flow through the process very fast. Then we can get a better, cheaper, and faster development. So this general workspace is our product, the Inkraft Terminal. So in our Inkraft Terminal, we have three modulars to solve the problems: the project modular to solve the communications problem, and we have the knowledge modular to solve the knowledge getting problem, and we have the model modular to solve the calculations problem. So in the project modular, you can see the workflow of the project, to see the status of each steps, and each step you can have multiple design version. You will see the whole topology of the design version flow. When you click on some node, you can open the specific space of this version only steps. And in this space, you can ask for the input data from your previous designer and send the data to your next designer just click some button. So in your nodes, you can also upload and share your lesson learned in these specific steps. or report a risk, or doing some comments for the project. So with this module, you can transfer the right data to the right people in the right time. So you don't need meeting anymore, you don't need so much phone calls, emails anymore. And therefore we can solve the communications problem. And in the knowledge model, you have the database to search all the historical comments and lesson learned of all projects. So you can easily to know what happened in the previous project and can helps you to make the right decision. You can also write the technical articles and you can share the articles to your team, and your team leaders can collect these articles and organize a team engineering handbook. And out of these comments, lesson learned, articles, books can cite each other. So out of these things will let people to get the right engineering knowledge. The third part is the model modular. The model modular is a space with many small programs. Each program can solve a specific engineering task, like linear regression, like machine learning, like 1D heat transfer, like some pre-processing of CFD, like the visualization of the experiment data, and so on. So those small programs are made and published by our company, and our users of client can use that program for free. And you can just hand this program on any steps of your project. Just open the steps and bring this program into the project. The program will read the input, calculate it, and give you the output, straightforward, and save you much time. And as our company grows, we will provide more and more small programs and cover more and more engineering problems. The other side, we also open this library interface to our users, and the users can upload their own programs or scripts to solve their own problems. We will also provide some training to teach people how to do that. So with this model modular, we will solve the engineering calculation problem. So you see, with these three modulars, we finally achieve an all-in-one R&D terminal, which we can save the time, we can reduce the cost, and we can improve our development quality. And the other side, our terminal is actually taking the nasty tasks and release the power of engineer. So this makes engineer happy. Remember, when you're in the college, you don't want to, in the future, you don't want to be the PowerPoint writer or meeting organizer. You want to use your brain to create things, to change the world. You want to do this kind of jobs. But in a real career, you have so much nasty tasks, and you have no time for the innovation. But now we take this part. So that's all for this video. If you like us or you have interest of our software, you can contact us using the emails on the channel page, and we will also keep updating the videos to give you more information. So thank you very much. See you next time.